Hey guys, it's Jordan Reynolds, and here's an actual example of my step-by-step process of deeply analyzing and rating your home studio audio. First, you'll hear the client's audio sample, and then you'll see how I rated each category of their audio on their Pro Studio rating chart. And finally, you'll hear my personalized audio message filled with a ton of detailed feedback.
You need ink and toner, so you go to Staples. That was easy, right? Let's make it tougher. You need hard-to-find ink in a multi-pack, in stock now, at the lowest price possible. So, you go to Staples. Still easy. With an amazing selection, helpful associates, and Staples' low-price ink guarantee, more people save on ink and toner at Staples than anywhere else. Staples. That was easy.
Hey Thomas, thank you so much for submitting. All right, just took a listen to everything. Go ahead and open up your rating chart here so you can follow along. So Acoustics. All right, so I took a look at the photos that you uploaded in the form along with the additional one you sent in the email as a follow-up. Thank you for all the details. The more details, the better. It is for me to figure out what is going on. So overall, you are on to a good start, but there's definitely room for improvement. I gave it a 3 because you could get away with some VO work, but as far as like raw, someone patching in via Source Connect, recording you live as is audio, it's definitely not up to snuff of where a Pro Studio would want it to be. The problems that I'm hearing is I'm just still hearing a little too much reflection, and it's not like a nice natural reflection that you hear in my room right now. And the reason why is because I have a lot more acoustic treatment sucking up sound than what you have in your room. And my room is probably about the same size as the room that I can kind of figure out on the photo. So I would, you need more sound absorption. And carpet is a good job at stopping a lot of that stuff, but carpet just isn't ideal for sucking up, especially male voices. You have a mid-tone voice, and the lower our voices are, the bigger those sound waves are, the more thick stuff like insulation and acoustic treatment, the thicker and denser that stuff needs to be to suck up our voice from bouncing around in the room. So what I would recommend, looking at the photos, I think it's a little bit exposed above you. I think the ceiling is exposed. If you can cover that, that will stop a lot of sound from getting out, even if you just put a thick blanket up there or even a thick piece of carpet, right? And stapled that. Make my Staples callback with the Staples script. If you start there, I think you'll be in good shape. But I think there might be some noise that is also traveling around you and behind you because that's all open. But yeah, I think if you covered that top, and I don't know how tall you are, and I see you have a light there, that kind of sucks, but try to cover more surface. And honestly, I think the carpet is just not doing enough. I'm looking at it now. It's, maybe an inch or two thick, if that, and it's essentially glued to a thick hard wood, which is a very hard reflective surface. So you're probably going to want to invest if you can't get better results with covering more around you with especially that ceiling area, and it doesn't sound better, then you're going to want to invest in some thicker acoustic treatment, either with acoustic panels. Even Auralex would probably do a little bit better. At least 2-inch thick Auralex foam would do better than this carpet probably, but I would, yeah. So anyways, there's room for improvement there for sure. That's where you want the most improvement. That was my shoe squeaking on my chair. That was weird. I didn't just step on a mouse. Noise floor. This, unfortunately, I'm giving a 3, and it's a wishy-washy 3 because I can't determine what your noise floor is accurately without knowing without a proper recording level. And that's why your recording levels is set at 2. Your peaks were coming in at -19 at the loudest. You want like the quietest the quietest parts to be around -19. So your recording is way too quiet. So you need to crank that gain up at least another 10 dB where you want that to be peaking. Go back to the webinar. I show examples of this, but you want your levels to be peaking more around -8-ish, even -6. And you're at -19. You see the difference there? And the problem is when your recording level is too quiet, I don't have an accurate way to determine how loud your noise floor is without artificially boosting your entire signal and then analyzing your noise floor, which is what I did, but it's not a fair assessment of your noise floor. But overall, it sounded like it's pretty damn quiet in that space down there without it being in a closed booth. So that's why I'm giving it a 3. I think your noise floor might be in pretty good shape, but I won't know until I get a better recording level. So there you go. Recording level 2, I just explained that. Moving on to mic technique. Great. I didn't hear any pop Ps. I didn't hear anything that sounded like you were too far away. Now, one thing you could try in the meantime, before you add more acoustic treatment, if that's not an option, is to get a little bit closer up on the mic like I'm doing now. And I demonstrated this in a webinar. It can make up for not ideal acoustics in a room. So if you get up a little bit more on the mic, you'll hear less of those unflattering echoes that I'm hearing around you. Mic tone. This is a very budget mic, right? It's the Sterling ST55. Overall, it sounds pretty good. I'm giving it a 3.5 because it's not too harsh. For a cheaper mic, usually they run a risk of sounding not terribly flattering, but this is not a bad fit for you, especially for a budget mic. But I think eventually you want to aim to upgrade, since you already got the cables and the mic arm and everything, you probably want to aim to get something maybe up in the $200 range eventually, because that's one, it's going to reduce your noise floor. And two, it's going to have you could probably find a mic that's a bit more flattering. It has a little bit of a hollowness to it. And that's honestly just because it's just a cheaper mic. It's a budget mic. But it doesn't sound like an unprofessional level, right? But there's just a little bit room for improvement. So that's why I'm giving it a 3.5, because it does feel and sound just a little bit on the cheap side. It's just one step away from being like real nice and a great fit for being pro. But it's very good for the price. You're not going to like lose gigs because of that, in my opinion.
You need ink and toner, so you go to Staples. That was easy, right? Let's make it tougher. You need hard-to-find ink in a multi-pack, in stock now, at the lowest price possible. So you go to Staples. Still easy. With an amazing selection, helpful associates, and Staples' low-price ink guarantee, more people save on ink and toner at Staples than anywhere else. Staples. That was easy.
And then processed audio. I was hearing too much artifacts, and that's why I'm giving it a 2.5. The artifacts I was hearing is probably due to noise reduction, I think, or even de-reverb. I'm not sure if you're using that or if you even know what the hell I'm talking about, but if you do, if you did use it, I can hear it. Or whatever noise floor you're using, I can hear it. And also your overall audio level was still really quiet in the processed audio. You didn't boost it at all either. So that's kind of a bummer too. But so after I artificially boosted it up to hear all what was going on, if you really listen closely with headphones, you'll hear artifacts in a lot of the words where it's cutting out literal parts of the words. It's not like a giant chunk of audio, but it's very processed and like a Skype call kind of sound. And that is the opposite of what we have to do as voice talent, right? If we want to be pro. I would lay off on whatever heavy processing you were doing there. It sounds too heavy, whatever it is. So dial that back. And if it was for reverb reduction, the best thing is to just add more acoustic treatment now, and you'll start to get in better shape soon. All right, there you go. Good luck, Thomas.